Darius Johnson, we begin with that developing news overnight here in Loveland. It's where police say 2 people were found dead, shot inside a home, and then a gunman later took his own life. That happened in Erie. Take a look at some of this video. This all happened just before 2:30 in Loveland yesterday afternoon when police say juveniles called 911 for help. When police arrived, they found 2 people dead inside the home and the 3 kids in hiding. A search then began for a suspect who was identified as Javier Acevedo. Officers were able to locate him in an Erie neighborhood with what appeared to be a long gun. They then attempted to talk with him. Officers say during that point in time, Acevedo then shot and killed himself. Back out here live, there are still questions we have this morning. One, we want to know what the clear timeline is between police and Acevedo. We also want to know how police were able to link Acevedo to the shooting that happened right here on Pavo Court. We also want to know how old the victims are, as well as the children who were inside that home at this time. Those are all questions we're asking Loveland Police this morning, and we'll continue to try to provide you all with throughout the day. For now, I'm live in Loveland. Darius Johnson, Gary, and Corey, I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you two in the studio.
Yeah, Darius, lots of questions, obviously. Is there any indication that they're going to answer them soon? Are they planning a news conference or anything like that?
Yeah, Gary, at this point in time, that's something we're still waiting to figure out. I can tell you within the last hour since I've been out here on the scene, I've seen police driving through the area, just kind of doing some additional surveillance. They didn't really mention anything, but that's something we're keeping our eyes peeled for.
Okay. All right. We'll see what happens. Thank you.
Right now, deputies in Fort Collins are looking for a 15-year-old who they say shot a man several times outside of a home near Poudre High School. Police say they found the victim at a house on South Overland Trail. Officers aren't saying how he's doing. Police identified 15-year-old Tegan Pixley Johnson as the suspect. They say he knew the victim. Police say Pixley Johnson is dangerous, and anyone who sees him should call 911 immediately.
All right, we're taking a live look at the, isn't that beautiful? The sun coming up over the mountains this morning. That's up by Loveland, by the tunnels. And it's going to be a really pretty decent day, I think. It's going to be, won't be too hot. It'll be just nice, you know, maybe a little rain. Let's check in with Ed Green.
Scene setter there, I love it.
Right?
Did you like yesterday?
Yeah.
Well, then you're going to like today. I think we're going to see almost an exact same copy of the day. As you said, it's going to stay cool, 81 degrees. Do have a chance for the afternoon showers and thunderstorms. A little bit of cloudiness right now, but not all that bad. 62 degrees is where we sit. We did have some heavy showers and thunderstorms over southeastern Colorado. They'll continue to move out of the area, but the monsoon moisture is back over the south and right on into the metro area later today for a chance for scattered shower or thunderstorm. Tomorrow, a little drier air moves into the north, especially northeastern Colorado, but the monsoon moisture flow to the west and south of us. So with that, we have the flood watch out all day long today over the south. We have that from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and it's now in Burlington. It's been in that part of the state, it's been allowed to expire. 81 degrees is what we will see today with showers and storms. Then for tomorrow, 88 degrees. We'll get to near 90 on Sunday with an isolated storm. And Monday, simply fair, warm and dry, high 93 degrees.
Ed, thank you so much. Right now, not a bad start at all to your Friday morning commute. We are taking a look from our CDOT camera at I-25 and 23rd Avenue this morning. Southbound and northbound volume really looking about the same, definitely moving up to speed through that stretch. So we'll run through a couple travel times for you here real quick. Southbound I-25 drive between 144th Avenue and 76 only going to take you 8 minutes. No delays yet through North Glen into Thornton at this hour. Southeast 270 seeing the slightest delay approaching York Street this morning, but really not enough to even impact that drive time. You still have the green light. You're looking at a 7-minute drive there on 270 between I-25 and I-70. Both sides of 225 in the green as well. 10-minute drive there between I-70 and I-25, and no problems to report out here on I-70 between I-25 and 225. You have an 8-minute drive time or faster.
Erica, thank you. Still many unanswered questions in Inglewood. 4 days after a man was shot and killed, police won't say if they did it. Police say they exchanged fire with a different man inside the same home. Marshall Zellinger took his questions to local leaders.
Inglewood has 7 city council members, including one they picked to be mayor.
Hi, Mayor. It's Marshall Zellinger at 9 News.
I left messages with 5 of the council members who listed their phone numbers online.
Hi, Councilwoman. Hi, Councilman. Hi, Councilwoman. This is Marshall Zellinger at 9 News.
And I emailed all of them. I did get through to the city's communications director and requested an interview with the city manager. I'm still waiting to hear back on that. Surely even city leaders have questions about Sunday night's shooting, where police fired at a home they say they were being fired at. Police say the guy inside with the gun is in custody, but that does not explain how that guy's brother, also inside the home, was shot and killed. The guy they arrested, Philip Blankenship, is being held on attempted first-degree murder, not murder. So who shot his brother? This morning, Englewood Police Chief Sam Watson posted online a recorded, edited video statement. What he describes is different than the original news release put out by his department the day after the shooting. The release says that at approximately 7:39 p.m., officers responded. When officers arrived on scene, they were met with gunfire from inside the home. In his recording, the chief presented 28 additional minutes between officers arriving and gunshots.
Officers arrived and were able to get the reporting person and another family member out of the house into safety. Officers then surrounded the house and started making announcements for both occupants to exit the residence.
He then says it was 8:07 when officers were shot at, and if police made announcements for both occupants to exit the residence, police knew there were two people inside. Blankenship was arrested. We still don't know who shot his brother.
Last week, we had questions for Denver police following that shooting downtown where 6 bystanders were shot. That happened on a Sunday morning. We heard from the mayor on Monday, and DPD held a news conference 3 days later on Wednesday. Police took questions, even if they didn't really answer them. This Englewood shooting was on Sunday night. It's 5 days later now, and we have no city response and limited information from police.
There is a new legal challenge to Colorado's gun restrictions, specifically the ban on magazines with more than 15 rounds. It is coming, not surprisingly, from Rocky Mountain gun owners. That's a group that is right of the NRA. Attorneys for the group are going after a law that's nearly a decade old. It is a challenge they have made before and lost. Colorado Supreme Court deemed the law constitutional. But now they are going to try it in federal court. The lawsuit argues that the law should be overturned in light of the U.S. Supreme Court's recent decision to overturn a New York gun safety law. The justices ruled it was unconstitutional for New York to require licenses for people carrying guns in public places.
The way the Second Amendment has been interpreted now by our High Court has given us a path to victory that, may have not been there in the Supreme Court 7 years ago or 10 years ago or even 30 years ago.
Rocky Mountain gun owners cited the same Supreme Court decision when they sued the town of Superior over its new gun ordinances. A judge just granted the far-right group a temporary restraining order preventing Superior from enforcing parts of that new ordinance.
Colorado may finally see some relief from this latest COVID wave. The more contagious Omicron variant has driven up case counts and the positivity rate. About 10.5% of tests have been positive over the past week. That is the lowest positivity rate in more than 2 months. Positivity and cases started climbing in early April, and we've hit a plateau since late May. There are signs that may be easing. Our case counts are also down. About 2 weeks ago, we were averaging 2,000 new cases each day. That's down to about 1,500 per day now. Our hospitalizations have mostly held steady. Hospitalizations have been right around 300 for about a month and a half.
There is a relatively simple way to make an impact on climate change. Think twice about the food that you throw away.
Right, we just found out how significant food waste is because the city of Denver has been going through our trash. Anusha Roy explains.
The first week on the job with the city of Denver.
We're getting right to the meat of the issue here, no pun intended.
Leslie Bazins was digging through restaurant trash.
Really illuminating to see what people throw away.
Pizza, Brussels sprouts, bread, veggies. A Natural Resource Defense Council study focused on homes found meat, entire meal packages, and a whole turkey.
A little over 40% of food is wasted by residents.
The next biggest group in Denver are restaurants. The city wants to cut down on food waste by more than half in 8 years, because when you throw edible food out, you're also throwing away the energy that went into growing it, harvesting, storing, and cooking it. The EPA looked at the impact across the country.
And they estimated it's the equivalent in the U.S. of 42 coal-fired power plants every year, which I think just really puts that number into perspective. They also have in that report that it's enough water and energy to supply more than 50 million homes.
Not to mention all the wasted money, and it goes full circle.
Driving climate change it impacts on our production systems, our supply systems. It disrupts them. We have less food that we're producing, and we're also producing less nutritious food.
But the solution for this issue,
this one's really tangible. We have it in front of us right now, and it's something that everyone can do at home.
Whether that's being creative with leftovers, not cooking too much.
Just make sure you don't, overload your shopping basket.
2021, we rescued 660,000 pounds of food.
Or pairing up with nonprofits like Denver Food Rescue that works with grocery stores and restaurants.
Food that it's not expired food, but it's food that is closer to its use-by date.
It's still good to eat and helps around 2,000 people a week, some of it delivered on e-bikes. And all of that is equivalent to taking 30 cars off the road for a year and saving more than 13 million gallons of water.
Now, the EPA study underestimates the impact of food waste because it doesn't take into account the methane released when food ends up in the landfill. The city of Denver does offer composting. There's a $10 monthly fee right now, but next year it becomes free. If it's not an option where you live, you can hire a private company to compost. The city says that can cost around $30 a month, depending on the company.